Hey, what's up? My name is Senakofi. Welcome once again to this channel. So I'm here with a second book review, and we are going to talk about this book. The title is 48 Laws of Power. So yeah, right. Just a quick story about this book, and then we move on. So a lot of people are afraid of this book for some reason, right? A lot of people don't want to read this book because of what people say. Even before myself. So this was the first book I read last year. Okay, this book, it was the first book I read last year. Before I read this book, I heard a lot of things. People were saying, if you read this book, you become wicked. A lot of people have become wicked from reading this book and all that. And so I was more like, I don't want to read something that will affect me negatively, okay? I don't want to read something that will make me become a wicked person. But I still felt the urge to read the book. And I was like, okay, let me read this book. And listen, after reading this book, I became more tolerant. I don't know whether it's a problem with me, but as I'm telling you, a lot of people say after reading this book, they became wicked. But for me, after reading this book, I became more tolerant. I became more understanding. I sort of got to notice some subtle, sinister moves some people do, right? And I became more protecting, right? In the sense that I could guard myself from moves others were doing, okay? And so I'm going to talk about 5 lessons I learned from this book, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. And it's one of the most popular books in the world. Probably you've heard about it, you've heard people talk about it. So I'm going to talk about the 5 lessons personally. I'm going to personify it. 5 lessons I learned from this book. Okay, so the first lesson I learned from this book was never to outshine my master. And it is the number one thing you have to learn from this book. Never outshine your master. Listen, most often we believe that if we are under people, we are working under people, we believe that if we outdo what they do, they will be happy for us. No. This book will let you understand that people are not going to be happy for you. They will crush you. They will feel a lot of people are insecure. Okay. So they will feel threatened. Okay. And so they are going to crush you. So never outshine your master. If you know you can do something better than your boss, make sure all the glory goes to your boss. And I have a friend who used this rule very well, and he got a lot of promotion at his workplace. Okay, he was always attributing the success to his, even though he did everything, but he was always attributing it to the boss. And so the boss liked him. He made sure never to outshine his master, right? And so that is one lesson I learned from the book, and probably that will be one lesson you are going to learn from the book. Never outshine your master. Now, the second thing I learned from this book was not to associate myself with negative people, because negative people will bring you down. And I like how this book put it. It created an example and gave a story of a lady who was very beautiful, and the lady was always negative, okay? And because she was beautiful, she got married to a lot of prominent men. Okay, so any man the lady got married to was prominent, but because she was negative, she brought the negativity into the lives of these prominent men, and they all fell down. Okay, they all fell down. And so that's one thing you learn from the book, the example and everything. That's one thing you're going to learn. Never associate yourself with negative people. Now, this book, even though people say it is going to make you wicked, one thing I also learned from this book is to outstretch yourself in terms of generosity. Okay, be very generous. This book will tell you that associate yourself with generous people. If you associate yourself with them, you see how they go all out for people, and you see the blessings coming into their lives. And so you need to also do same. Okay, you do same if you associate yourself with generous people. And so that is the third lesson I learned from this book. Be generous. Okay, quite ironic, right? People say if you read this book you become wicked, but this book is talking about generosity. Okay, so that's that. Now, the fourth lesson I learned from this book is the fact that be very careful about what you say. Be very silent most of the times. Sometimes your enemy is your mouth. Now, listen, for those who know me, okay, personally, right, I believe in the fact that the enemy living in you is bigger than the enemy outside of you. Personally, that's something I believe in. That you are your own enemy. There is no enemy outside of you who is bigger than the enemy living in you. Personally, that's what I believe in. And so if you talk about enemies living in you, I mean selfishness, anger, and all those things, they are personal. Okay, they are your personal enemies. They are bigger than those people who say they hate you. They are bigger than those people. And so this book will tell you that you need to be very careful of what you say. Sometimes, okay, because you talk too much, sometimes you are down in life, sometimes you've lost things in life just because you talk too much. You need to be very silent. And I like the example the book used. So in the book, it used an example of a man who was about to be killed in a community. You know, olden days, a man was about, real life story, he was about to be killed in a community because he did something wrong, right? And so he was supposed to be hanged. And so they hanged him, and I think they didn't tie the rope well, and so it got loose, and the man didn't die. Okay, so in that community, they also believe that if they are about to kill someone and then a situation like that happens, it means the gods of that land don't want the man to die, and so they want the person to be set free. So after that situation, the man didn't know that. Okay, so after that situation, he was bragging, he was laughing at them and was telling them that you guys want to kill me. You don't even know how to tie a rope. Your rope is not strong enough, and you want to kill me. So these people went back to their king, and they told the king that, listen, we wanted to kill the man, and this happened. And so it means we are not supposed to kill the man because that is what they believed in. And so the king was like, oh, okay, so this it actually means you are not supposed to kill him, right? Wow. And the king was like, okay, so what did he say after? I don't know what happened, but the king asked that question. So what did this guy say after? And they told the king that he said, we don't know how to tie ropes, we don't know how to make good ropes, we are weak and that. And the king was angry. The king was like, listen, go back and do it again. And this time around, show him you know how to tie a rope, you know how to make a good rope. Guess what? They went back, they did it, and the man died. And so I like the example he used. You see, the man's enemy here was his mouth because he wasn't silent, because he didn't know that he had to be silent. He was talking, he was bragging. He died. He lost his head because of so that's one of the lessons I learned from the book. Not necessarily that the same thing is going to happen to you, but you can use this in many aspects of your life. You see, sometimes you create eyeballs, or you bring negativity onto yourself because you are talking so much. Be silent in your joy. Okay? There are a lot of people. I mean, I can give you an example, okay, of people who, in quotes, they were fraudsters. They had a lot of money, but because they were loud and on social media, and they were speaking, denigrating people with their wealth and everything, it attracted the eyeballs of the FBI, and then they went to, I don't want to mention names, but you know those stories, right? So this book will teach you that sometimes your enemy is your man. So that was the fourth lesson I learned from this book. Now, the final lesson I learned from this book is the fact that you need to know the type of people you are going to pick your fights with. Listen, this book will let you know, and it is true. In this life, there are people who are powerful than you. There are people who have more resources than you do. Okay? So be very careful that the people you want to pick fights with. Be very, very, very careful. The people you want to go after. Some people, they will crush you. So be very careful about that. Some people, you just need to look at them and forgive. Some people, you need to look at them and plan well. Some people, you just need to let go because you are not that powerful. Okay? Not that the person has done wrong, and so for you, because the person has done wrong, you want to go after the person, they will crush you. This book will let you understand that. So these are the 5 lessons I learned from this book. Get this book and read, okay? I know it's going to change a lot of life. I mean, it is very voluminous, I understand that, but as I tell you, decide to read 10 pages every single day, and then, I mean, in a month, or let's say 2 months, you'll be done with the book. Okay, so 10 pages a day. Share your thoughts in the comment box. My name is Sena Kofi. I'll come your way again another day.